have a reframe here for you, which is, and I've already kind of said it, don't worry about perfect parenting. Worry about good enough parenting. That doesn't mean we're giving up. It doesn't mean we're settling exactly. Like if you have the mental space to worry about being a perfect parent, you go right ahead. Good luck. But that also might be this like defensive, impulsive thought of I'm not good enough. I have to be perfect. So if you have the mental space for it and it comes from genuine self-improvement and you can handle that, cool. For the majority of people, worry about leveling up, day after day, sure. Worry about good enough parenting. Okay, that's kind of like a reframe here. So focus on improvement in, I would say, a larger sense. That's one piece of this. We'll talk about larger and smaller. So focus on improvement in a larger sense, and that would be like generationally. Do better than your own parents. Okay, so just level up from your parents. And if it involves violence, we want to erase that entirely from our parenting, right? But at least do something better. Whatever the problem was with your parents that you can identify, cut that out. Take that out. If your parents didn't say I love you at all, start saying it to your kids. If your parents were good at saying it out loud, but not very good at affectionately sharing, like physically sharing love, that might be where you level up. If your parents were not super well regulated and had anger outbursts, that might be where you need to level up in comparison to your own parents. And I know we talk about in mental health, we don't want to compare to others, but as a reframe here, I think it could be helpful to look at this as I am improving upon what came before me. And that's not an insult. It might be very practical. So not perfection. We want good enough and we want to do better than the generation that came before us. So in a larger sense, that's macro, okay? But we can't settle for this. This may not be good enough. I want good enough parenting, not perfect. But I would really encourage you to strive for good enough parenting. But you can't settle for just being better than your own parents in parenting. So also focus on improvement in a smaller sense. What I mean by that is like today versus yesterday. Do better than not just your own parents, but do better than yourself yesterday. So the you today that's listening to this, think about how you parented yesterday and do better than that. So think about yourself this morning. Maybe you yelled at your kids on the way out of the house, or maybe that happened yesterday. And what I'm saying is do better than that the next day. So don't yell at your kids on the way out of the house, or start getting ready earlier. If you were pressuring your kids to clean the room and threatening and yelling and name calling, don't do that tomorrow. Maybe you could still kind of rush them a little bit, but cut out the name calling. Like level it up the next day as much as you can. So we have the larger picture generationally, but then just for yourself, the day-to-day improvements. Not perfection. We want to eventually get to good enough parenting. So do better than your own parents, but do better than yourself as well. Challenge yourself.